Hey, Scott Johnston here. I want to read from Psalm 139, verses 1 to 6. It says this: You have searched me, Lord, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you, Lord, know it completely. You hem me in behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to attain. When I was a youth pastor back in the day, I had this game that I would play with all the students where we would show an image of something zoomed in and the students would have to try and guess what it was. Oftentimes I'd come in with some sort of microscopic image that looked like abstract art and it would end up being orange juice. Or I would come in with an image that looked like from something from the I Spy books from the 1990s and they would try and guess what it was and they never could figure it out and it would end up being sand, of course. Now, the interesting thing for me was that none of the students, regardless of where they started, could ever guess what it was on the first try. And so I would help them by zooming out the photo more and more and more until finally they were able to get a clear picture of what it was. You see, I find that game reflects our human experience in a lot of different ways. You and I live our lives zoomed in. I mean, we might get 70, 80 years in our life if we're lucky. And as we live our lives, we'll learn a lot of things. We'll experience a lot of life. We'll grow and learn in our little circles of influence as we go through life. But if you think about the thousands of years of recorded human history, our lives are a blip. They're like a vapor, right? The truth is we live our lives zoomed in, but God has a different perspective. You see, God is what we call omniscient or all-knowing. He sees and knows all. Not only does God have the zoomed in image, the zoomed in photo of what life is like, but he also has the zoomed out view. He also can see the full context of our lives. He is never surprised by our life and our actions. You and I cannot throw God a curveball. And that can be a really intimidating thought for a lot of us. But I love what Arthur Pink says. He says this: He foresaw my every fall, my every sin, my every backsliding, yet nevertheless fixed his heart upon me. One of the beautiful things about God's omniscience is that he sees and knows us more completely than we ever could. And his desire, his intention is to love you. That he knows you so well and yet he still has set his heart upon you. And I hope this encourages you this morning.